What's up, guys? BaldSpecStar here today with my Week 10 battle of Mega Beedrill. This week going up against Narth, and he is currently sitting number 1, but this, in my current position, is a must-win game. If I win, quite simply, I make playoffs. If I lose, I don't. So, gotta pull this one off. And here with me, I got my wig right now. I'm just kind of letting my wig hang out a little bit. Maybe I'll put it on later. But I decided this one I can't show my team because that would spoil things either way, right? Because he's number 1, so you know that he's in the playoffs, and if I made the playoffs, I wouldn't want to show my team against someone who I'd have a decent chance of rematching, so I can't show the team. I'm going to have to just jump right into this game here, but first, my opponent's got a team consisting of Mega Gallade, Zapdos, Decidueye, Licky Licky, Greninja, and the Musharna. So let's get this started. I'm going to lead off with my Kinkeldurr. That was always kind of the plan. He leads off with Zapdos. I'm just going to go for my Ice Punch here, because if he does stay in, he's quite likely just going to die. And it would also cover Decidueye if for some reason he wanted to go there. I also could knock off to predict a Musharna, but I feel like Ice Punch is just a much safer play for me. So I'm going to go for my Ice Punch. He actually volts out, so I'm going to regret that instantly as he does go into the Musharna. That's going to actually show some interesting information, because that's going to tell me that he has some defense investment, but he's not all the way defensively invested. So we got some kind of mix EV bulky set here, I'm guessing. And I'm going to switch into my Durant here, trying to pick up some momentum. He goes for Thunder Wave, which does hurt on the Durant, especially because the thing basically already is Thunder Waved to begin with the ability Hustle, so now I'm basically double Thunder Waved, double paralyzed. So here I'm just going to go for my Rock Slide, because looking at his team, the only thing that wants to take a first impression is Zapdos, so I'm going to try and hit that. He goes into Zapdos. I have a 50.4% chance, and yes, I did the math because I'm going to come up short with the Rock Slide there. And then he's actually going to pull the double into Decidueye as I actually go into Garbodor. And he goes for Spirit Shackle. I'm just going to get up a Spike. If he wanted, I do have the Haze on Garbodor in case he wanted to do some kind of Sword Stance Baton Pass thing, which was definitely something on my mind. I'm just going to go for my Gunk Shot here now that I have a Spike up, because he could be defogged too. It actually lands in poisons, which is pretty fortunate, but not as fortunate as it's going to get, as he decides that his best play is to stall out my Gunk Shots by roosting, and you're going to see that I am just going to land the most miraculous stream of Gunk Shots ever made, landing 8 in a row somehow. So making up for the Rock Slide miss entirely. Let me just put on my wig here. Alright, I'll put him down. Land the most miraculous stream there. No idea how it happened. Would not be able to replicate that if I tried it 10 times more. But he goes into Gallade here, and my only move to hit that after running out of Gunk Shot PP is Drain Punch. So that definitely could be something he was thinking about doing, trying to set that thing up. I go hard into my Mudsdale, as it does have the helmet, and it's able to roar him if he Sword Stances. He goes right for the Zen, and he takes helmet damage, so I'm liking that. I think most likely for him would be to go into Zapdos here, so instead of clicking my rocks just to let him defog them away, I'm actually going to go right for Toxic first, because that would definitely stop him from being able to sub with this, which is definitely a set I was thinking about. But after that, I'm going to get up my rocks. He actually pulls the switch in Musharna, and I'm going to try and bring in Durant again. This time, since I went Rock Slide last time, I'm actually just going to try and mix it up and go for my first impression this time, which still does hit Zapdos pretty well considering I have rocks up. So I'll go for my first impression. He goes into Zapdos again, so I'm regretting not clicking the Rock Slide. First impression does manage to land. I'm then going to switch into my Kyurem here, knowing he has to roost. And this turn, I'm just going to go right for my Toxic. Based on his bulk, and I did see his bulk with my first impression, he's going to be physically defensive almost fully, if not fully, so I know I'm going to be able to outspeed and sub up. He was in his Licky Licky here, and I sub, and I go for Ice Beam, and that's actually going to take Assault Vest damage, so I'm going up here against the Assault Vest Licky Licky. And I'm just going to go for subs and try to keep him up. Ultimately, I want to keep a sub when I kill this thing. And I'm going to Roost, and I'm going to Ice Beam, I'm going to sub, I'm going to Roost. And eventually the Licky Licky will go down as I keep my sub here and take it. He goes into his Greninja here. I'm just going to go for Earth Power and get off whatever damage I can. He goes for Dark Pulse. If he has Specs, which is a good possibility, this thing would 2-KO me. I do not really want to get flinched here, especially because if he's not Specs, I think he would be most likely Modest Scarf. I think he'd be one of those two. Well, I don't know Modest. He would be Scarf. Probably Modest, but yeah, I would think it would either be Scarf or Specs here. So I think I'm really safe to just go into my Conkeldurr and find out. Based on this Dark Pulse, this is where I will find out that it's likely Modest Scarf. And I'm just going to go for my Mach Punch here because I don't want to get too aggressive, because if I am wrong and he can mix it up here and go for a water move, I don't want to risk my Conkeldurr. My Conkeldurr is too important. And if he does save it, it's coming back out at almost no health. So I'll just go safely for Mach Punch here to take down the Greninja. He goes into his Mega Gallade here. This Mon is the threat right now. This is the one thing I'm very much afraid of. And it was from the beginning, and it definitely more is now that he's got 3 Mons left and it's one of them. He goes for Sword Stance as I go into my Mudsdale. And he goes for his Drain Punch, and I'm just going to roar this thing away. I don't want any setup Gallades around here. No thank you. He goes into Musharna here, and I'm actually just going to go for my Earthquake because my thought process is that my best play was just to continue clicking Earthquake, and I'd make sure the thing was just a free kill for Conkeldurr when Mudsdale did go down. But he's actually just going to Psychic here instead of Moonlighting around. So I'm going to go into Alakazam to claim this kill in the most safe way possible. And I do get that Shadow Ball there. He goes into Zapdos here. I don't want to screw too much around with that because Alakazam is valuable if I can keep Gallade from Sword Stancing. I go right into my Kyurem here, and I'm just going to go for Ice Beam. If he does go into Gallade, I just want it as low as possible. Unfortunately here, I am going to freeze him. Not sure how consequential it is, but it's annoying either way. Freezing is definitely the gayest thing in Pokemon. Well, yeah. It's the worst thing in Pokemon. You don't want to say that anymore. I bring in my Mega Zam here and go for my Shadow Ball. He goes for Sword Stance. I'm now definitely in range of Shadow Sneak, for sure. Unless he's some kind of really weird set. So I think that I might just try to goad him into killing my Garbodor because I could potentially kill it with Aftermath. And that's something I am trying to do here. Because if I did, let me clarify further. If I let Zam go down and then I brought Garbodor in, without it taking the hard Shadow Sneak first, then it would just be able to Drain Punch my Garbodor, and he knows that I don't have Gunk Shot to hit him. So if I bring in Garbodor first, I can lose a lot of my health to the first attack, and potentially Aftermath kill him depending on his set. But he goes for Shadow Sneak, and he is able to Drain Punch his way out of range of Aftermath. But he goes down to 12 here. And I have to bring in my Conkeldurr here, and if Shadow Sneak kills me, I need to land a hit with a paralyzed Durant, which is quite possibly my worst nightmare ever. So I'm just praying right now that Conkeldurr can live that Shadow Sneak it does live the Shadow Sneak, and it kills the Glade with Mach Punch, and I'm able to pick up a win here. And I am able to make the playoffs, where my opponent, it comes down to a final game between my man Jacko and Money Guy. If Jacko wins the game, then I would play Money Guy in the first round. No, if Jacko wins the game, then I would instantly rematch Narth in the first round of the playoffs. And if Money Guy wins, then I would instead play Money Guy in the first round of the playoffs. So I'm stuck between my hatred for doing rematches where I won the original game, which is always tough to rebuild, and change up a winning team. That's my nightmare, and also my love of my brother, who I do not want to relegate. So either way, I guess it's win-win, lose-lose, that game for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, though. I'm definitely excited to sneak my way into the playoffs. Even with a -2 differential, I finished 6-4 -2, including the 1-1 -3 that Recon was before I replaced him. But the dream, I think, is still alive to be the worst differential ever of anyone to win. Standing in my way of that is a 3-win streak, though, so still a lofty goal, but the dream is alive. I always want to be that worst differential champion. Leave a little stamp in the record books. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have yourselves a good night.